One moment, everything feels secure. The next, a single event can upend it all. How do you respond when life doesn't go your way? Do you let frustration take over? Or do you find the strength to adapt and grow? Imagine if, instead of fearing the unexpected, you could face it with calm and clarity, confident in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy, offers timeless tools to navigate life's challenges. What if the key to happiness isn't in controlling what happens to you, but in how you respond? Let's explore how changing your mindset can change your life. In the bustling city of Cyprus around 300 BC, there lived a prosperous trader named Zeno. His fortune was vast, built from years of tireless effort and meticulous trade. Yet, during a voyage from Phoenicia to Piraeus, his life took an abrupt and irreversible turn. A fierce storm swept across the sea, sinking his ship and all the cargo aboard. In a matter of moments, Zeno's wealth disappeared beneath the waves, leaving him destitute. Now, imagine yourself in Zeno's position. How would you respond if everything you had worked for, everything you believed defined your success, vanished in an instant? Would anger consume you? Would despair take hold of your spirit? For many, these feelings would seem natural, even inevitable. But Zeno, the man who would become the father of Stoicism, chose a different path, one of acceptance and profound resilience. Stoicism teaches that a single shift in perspective can ripple through life in transformative ways. Zeno could have succumbed to bitterness or regret, but instead, he saw his misfortune as an opportunity. After the tragedy, he immersed himself in the works of Socrates and other great philosophers, discovering insights that would reshape his outlook on life. These teachings inspired him to develop and share Stoicism, a philosophy that redefined how people approach challenges and uncertainties. At its core, Stoicism embodies acceptance and mastery over one's emotional responses. Zeno's misfortune became the seed for his enlightenment. Instead of lamenting his loss, he focused on what he could control, his reaction to it. He chose calmness over chaos, clarity over confusion. Through this practice, Zeno demonstrated that while we cannot dictate external events, we can master our inner responses. Fast forward to today, and the term Stoic often conjures images of unflappable individuals who remain detached from emotional extremes, impervious to rage, anxiety, or despair. While this perception captures part of Stoicism, it misses the depth of its essence. The original philosophy was not merely about emotional restraint, but offered a comprehensive way of understanding and navigating life. It provided a lens through which to view challenges as opportunities and uncertainties as tests of character. This philosophy has stood the test of time, remaining as relevant today as it was thousands of years ago. In a world marked by rapid change and unexpected events, Stoicism serves as a guide for turning negative experiences into meaningful lessons. Perspective it teaches shapes reality. Each person's unique experiences craft their worldview, yet Stoicism encourages us to rise above reactive emotions and uncover deeper truths. The universality of Stoic philosophy is one of its most remarkable aspects. The Stoics believed their teachings were not reserved for an intellectual elite, but were meant for everyone, regardless of status or background. They gathered in public spaces, sharing their wisdom freely. To them, philosophy was a tool to improve daily life, not a luxury reserved for the privileged. This inclusivity was revolutionary, and its influence extended to people from all walks of life. Among the notable figures who embraced Stoicism were Epictetus, a former slave whose name translates to acquired, Seneca, a renowned statesman and philosopher, and Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor whose writings and meditations continue to inspire millions. Their lives exemplified how Stoic principles could guide individuals in positions of both extreme power and profound vulnerability. Their shared belief in the interconnectedness of humanity also led to the coining of the term cosmopolitan, meaning citizen of the world. Today, this word evokes images of global cities like New York, London, and Dubai, places celebrated for their diversity and unity. For the Stoics, this idea of shared humanity transcended cultural, social, and economic boundaries, laying the foundation for a more inclusive worldview. Stoicism's commitment to equality was not limited to abstract ideas. At a time when women were excluded from philosophical pursuits, Stoics advocated for their inclusion. Musonius Rufus, a prominent teacher, declared that women, like men, possessed the capacity for virtue and deserved access to philosophical education. It is not men alone who possess eagerness and a natural inclination towards virtue, he argued, but women also. These words challenged deeply ingrained societal norms and paved the way for greater inclusion in intellectual and philosophical circles. Why does Stoicism continue to resonate with so many people today? In an age of unprecedented uncertainty and complexity, emotions often cloud judgment and lead to unnecessary suffering. Stoicism offers clarity and a framework for navigating life's unpredictability. It teaches that our sadness or frustration does not arise solely from negative events, but from the unexpected nature of those events. By reframing our perspective, Stoicism empowers us to transform setbacks into stepping stones. Imagine a world where each challenge is seen not as an obstacle but as an opportunity for growth. Stoicism invites this mindset. It urges individuals to embrace the duality of life, the inevitable hardships alongside its beauty. In doing so, it provides the tools to master not just the external chaos but the internal turmoil that so often accompanies it. This philosophy also encourages reflection. What if the moments you dread most could become the ones you treasure for the lessons they teach? What if, like Zeno, you could find purpose and clarity in adversity? Life's uncertainties are unavoidable, but Stoicism reminds us that our responses are entirely within our control. Through this practice, we can cultivate a sense of peace and resilience that no external force can disrupt. Stoicism is not about suppressing emotions or denying humanity. Rather, it is about channeling emotions constructively and embracing life with open arms, even when it doesn't go as planned. It calls for a shift in focus, from lamenting what has been lost to appreciating what remains and what can still be gained. Through the centuries, Stoicism has guided emperors and slaves alike, proving that its principles are universal and timeless. Its power lies in its simplicity, in the way it turns profound truths into practical wisdom. And perhaps its greatest lesson is this: in a world where so much is beyond our control, we hold an unshakable power within, the power to shape our own perspective and, in doing so, shape our own destiny. Rain nourishes the earth, cools the air, and sustains life. Yet, when it catches you unprepared, drenched and inconvenienced, it feels far from a blessing. Despite the discomfort, most of us don't rage against the rain. We understand it as a part of life, something beyond our control. This acceptance mirrors a core Stoic teaching. Life will bring its storms, but how we weather them is entirely within our power. Stoicism teaches us to expect life's hardships. By imagining the worst outcomes, we diminish their power to overwhelm us. This practice may sound pessimistic, but it's the opposite. It's a way to build resilience. When you accept that the unexpected is inevitable, you strip it of its ability to paralyze you. Instead, you are prepared, not in fear but in calm readiness. A cornerstone of Stoicism is the exercise of voluntary discomfort. Imagine sleeping on the hard floor of your kitchen, taking cold showers instead of warm ones, or eating only plain potatoes for days. These self-imposed challenges cultivate gratitude and adaptability. They show you that even in discomfort, you can endure. This practice strengthens the mind, teaching that survival and even growth is possible in the face of adversity. In today's world, these teachings are vital. We live in an age where material success and curated lifestyles are paraded as the keys to happiness. Social media and advertising perpetuate the illusion that fulfillment lies in owning the latest gadget, achieving a certain aesthetic, or earning a specific income. The result? A cycle of comparison and discontent. Stoicism challenges this narrative. It urges us to step away from external validation and turn inward to anchor our happiness in the intrinsic. When we tie our sense of worth to possessions, appearances, or accolades, we entrust our happiness to forces we cannot control. Cars will break down. Homes can be destroyed. Relationships, no matter how cherished, face trials. True contentment, the Stoics remind us, comes from within, untouched by life's turbulence. Seneca, one of Stoicism's great teachers, spoke of the value of simplicity. Learning to live with less, he wrote, creates space in your life for what truly matters. This idea invites us to re-examine our lives. How much of what we chase, whether possessions or status, is truly essential? When we declutter our physical and mental spaces, we make room for clarity, peace, and the pursuits that genuinely enrich us. The heart of Stoic philosophy lies in the dichotomy of control, the distinction between what we can influence and what lies beyond our grasp. Epictetus described it beautifully. The chief task in life is simply this: to identify and separate matters so that I can say clearly to myself which are externals not under my control, and which have to do with the choices I actually control. This principle is empowering. It frees us from the burden of trying to manage the unmanageable, allowing us to focus on what truly matters: our actions, our attitudes, and our character. Goals are essential for personal growth, but Stoicism warns against letting unmet expectations shatter our sense of self-worth. Challenges and failures are inevitable. They are part of the human experience. The key is not to let them define us. Instead, Stoicism encourages us to approach setbacks as opportunities to practice resilience, patience, and wisdom. Consider modern pursuits like creating content for YouTube. Every step of the process, ideating, scripting, filming, editing, is within your control. You pour your heart into crafting the perfect video. But once it's uploaded, its fate is no longer in your hands. The algorithm, viewer responses, and engagement are external factors. Worrying over these aspects only breeds frustration. Instead, focus on refining your craft and let go of the rest. This is Stoicism in action. Stoicism doesn't ask us to suppress emotions or deny the difficulties of life. Instead, it teaches us to channel those emotions constructively and approach life with openness and acceptance. It's about seeing each challenge not as a setback but as a stepping stone. When life rains on us, we can choose to see not just the inconvenience but also the growth it fosters. Rain nourishes the soil, and challenges nourish the soul. Through its timeless wisdom, Stoicism has guided countless individuals, from slaves to emperors. Its teachings offer clarity in chaos, strength in struggle, and peace amidst life's unpredictability. It calls us to embrace life fully, to accept its storms, and to find within ourselves the power to endure, adapt, and thrive. Many people measure their success based on numbers, views on a YouTube video, followers on Instagram, or the approval of their peers. But how much of this is truly within your control? Stoicism teaches a different metric for success: effort. Instead of letting external results define your value, focus on the energy, thought, and dedication you put into your work. Trust the process even when the outcome isn't what you hoped for. Living with less in this context isn't just about material possessions. It's about unshackling yourself from expectations you can't control. Consider someone who's worked tirelessly at their job for 6 months, pouring their skills and determination into every task. Feeling they've earned a promotion, they approach their boss, armed with a stellar performance report. Yet the promotion doesn't come. Perhaps the company is cutting costs, or maybe someone else is better positioned for the role. The individual, unaware of these factors, walks away disheartened, thinking their efforts were in vain. Now imagine the same situation but with a Stoic perspective. Instead of focusing on the external outcome, this person values the effort they put into their work. The promotion might be delayed or even out of reach, but the pursuit remains meaningful. By reframing the situation, they avoid disappointment and continue striving toward their goal, understanding it's not diminished, just postponed. This mindset of resilience is fundamental to Stoicism. True Stoics don't equate success with financial gain or accolades. Instead, they take solace in knowing they can live comfortably without the superficial trappings of wealth. This philosophy emphasizes internal values over external rewards, a principle reinforced by the 4 core Stoic virtues: wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice. Wisdom is the ability to discern what lies within our control and what does not. Viktor Frankl captured this beautifully. Between stimulus and response, there is a space, In that space is our power to choose our response. This space represents our greatest freedom, the choice to react thoughtfully and with clarity, rather than impulsively. Courage in Stoicism boils down to two simple actions: persist and resist. It is the strength to move forward despite obstacles and the discipline to resist distractions or temptations that lead us astray. This isn't just about grand acts of bravery. It's about the quiet, consistent courage to do what's right, even when it's difficult. Temperance is the practice of moderation, finding balance in all things. Stoics believe in doing more with less, valuing simplicity over excess. While some chase wealth and luxury, Stoics focus on what is essential, embracing the idea that having enough is true richness. This doesn't mean rejecting ambition or success. It's about ensuring these pursuits don't consume us. Justice, the most important virtue, reminds us of our duty to one another. Stoics believe that humans are meant to work together, to do good for each other rather than solely for themselves. Nelson Mandela exemplified this virtue during his fight against apartheid. After 27 years of imprisonment, he emerged not with vengeance but with a commitment to rebuild. Inspired by the works of Marcus Aurelius, Mandela called for forgiveness and unity, urging his people to move forward rather than dwell on the past. His ability to practice justice, even in the face of immense personal suffering, is a testament to the power of Stoic principles. Stoicism's influence extends beyond historical figures. Its principles underpin modern therapies like rational emotive behavioral therapy, REBT, and logotherapy. REBT helps individuals identify and challenge negative thought patterns that fuel emotional distress. By logically deconstructing these thoughts, they can be replaced with healthier, more constructive beliefs. Logotherapy, on the other hand, emphasizes finding meaning and purpose, even in the darkest of circumstances. Rooted in the Stoic idea that purpose drives happiness, it reminds us that fulfillment is possible regardless of external hardships. Finding purpose is often easier said than done. It requires introspection, effort, and a willingness to challenge long-held beliefs. Stoicism encourages us to embark on this journey, to replace old, unproductive thought patterns with new perspectives that foster growth and contentment. By practicing self-worth and redirecting our focus to what we can control, we can free ourselves from the weight of external expectations. Life storms, whether they come in the form of professional setbacks, personal losses, or unforeseen challenges, can feel overwhelming. Yet, Stoicism offers a compass to navigate through them. It teaches us that while we may not control the winds or waves, we can always adjust our sails. Even if the storm grows so fierce that the ship sinks, Stoicism reminds us to take comfort in the life we've lived, however brief or imperfect it may have been. Imagine the peace that comes with embracing this mindset. By letting go of what you cannot change and focusing on what you can, you create a life rooted in resilience and authenticity. Happiness becomes less about accumulating things and more about cultivating meaning. Each moment, even the difficult ones, becomes an opportunity to grow and deepen your understanding of the world and your place within it. Think about the lessons shared here: the art of voluntary discomfort, the practice of temperance, and the pursuit of justice. What if these ideas became a part of your daily life? How might your outlook change? How much more content, grounded, and fulfilled could you feel by focusing on what you can control and letting go of what you cannot? You don't have to do it alone. The journey of personal growth, much like Stoicism itself, thrives on community and shared wisdom. This channel is your space to explore, reflect, and grow. Together, we can dive deeper into philosophies that challenge the status quo, stories that inspire resilience, and insights that nudge you toward a more meaningful life. By subscribing, you're not just supporting a channel, you're investing in yourself. You're saying yes to a life of intentionality, empowerment, and growth. So, take this step forward. Click that subscribe button, and let's continue building a life guided by purpose, perspective, and strength. One step, one insight, one story at a time.